That's a beast right there.
All right.
Yeah, I could hear the roar. Like
Did
a
you see her?
lion.
No, probably
Yeah.
not. Jackie, come here.
Wow. Let's say, man,
She's a
he's
small
huge.
dog with a big bark.
Yeah, he's huge. So maybe probably I noticed I had not hit the
Oh, we're live.
broadcast. Yeah, now we're live, and
Hi, everyone.
it's Saturday, September 1, 2018. It's Mike and Dan, and we are here to go through homework 3. And yeah, so what I was just doing was trying to fork the repo. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Oh, homework Rails. I think that's fine.
Sassbook. So you got to fork it still.
Yeah, I gotta fork this guy. Now, once the guy is forked, maybe we'll read through the README. And yeah, so maybe I'll set the reading, modifying rotten potatoes. So Rails intro, add features to rotten potatoes. In this homework, you will add a feature to an existing simple Rails app and deploy the result publicly on a Roku cloud hosting service. We will run live integration tests against your deployed version. General advice: this homework involves modifying rotten potatoes in various ways. Git is your friend. Commit frequently. In case you inadvertently break something that was working before, that way you can always back up to an earlier version, or just visually compare what changed in each file since your last good commit. So assignment contents, we have part 0, which is A, preparation, get rotten potatoes running locally. Then part B, preparation. Do I just complete this, then you start with the next one?
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah, so part 0B, then preparation, deploy to a Roku. Then part 1, sort the list of movies that got 15 points. Part 2, filter the list of movies by rating. Then part 3, remember the sorting and filtering setting, and that's 70 points. How to submit when you're done, I think that's not important right now. So maybe, yeah, we can go to the next.
Okay. Part 0A. The actual Rotten Potatoes starter app you will use is another public repo. Sassbook/Rotten Potatoes Rails intro. Fork that repo to your GitHub account, then clone your fork.
Okay.
Okay. So gotta fork that one.
Yeah, I had not done that. Say it's forked.
I just forked mine right before the video.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's not it.
No, yeah. You need to fork the Rotten Potatoes.
I think I do. Have I done that already? No.
Sorry?
This is how to Rails intro.
Yeah.
So Rotten Potato Rails intro. Okay.
But, yeah, just follow that link to the
Yes.
Rotten Potato. Yeah.
Okay. Give them a star. Oh, I'm giving myself a star. So I was giving them a star.
So you probably want to go back.
I probably need to delete this guy from here. And okay. So that's it. And then so you did the clone already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you start working on a Rails project, the first thing you should do is run bundler to make sure all the apps gems were installed.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so you'll run bundle install without production.
maybe I need to see the Rails version that they have on their gem file. The Ruby version, I mean. In the gem file,
Yeah.
they have Ruby 2.4.0.
I had to change mine to 2.4.4.
Oh, is that what they're using on your gem file?
On my what?
Does your gem file have 2.4.0?
No. I mean, it did. It did have that in the gem file, but then I just changed it to 2.4.4
Okay, okay.
because I couldn't do that bundle command. So you changed like the local environment to use Ruby 2.4.0,
Yeah,
huh?
I think you're
Okay. Do you have to like?
Hello.
I guess that.
Hello.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you're saying something, but I didn't get you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So you just changed your use Ruby 2.4.0, huh?
Yeah, the local directory. So you just do since I'm using RBEM. I don't know if you're using RVM.
Yeah, I have it locally.
You have RBEM,
but I don't have that Ruby version.
so I don't know. Let me just see.
But I'll just go with the 2.4.4. the way I have it set
I
up
think
now.
maybe it's good to go with 2.4.0 because that's what the tutorial is using. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can.
So if you do RBEM versions, what do you get?
RVM versions?
Yeah, RVM version. Oh, you're using RVM. I'm not sure if it's the command to use for RVM. So maybe I can versions. Did it return anything? RVM list. Okay.
Oh, let me try.
Yeah, it's not recognized. So RVM list. How do you check the Ruby versions?
Yeah, so I only have 2.4.4 installed.
Okay.
And that's what it's set to. So I wonder if I do RVM install.
2.4.0.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we can just read and see.
Okay.
As we wait.
So you got you got all set
mine,
up.
Mine everything has installed.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
let's see. So finally, get the local database created. Rake DB migrate.
Right. Okay. So Rake.
Okay.
Yep. So create movies, migrating, create table movies. Yep. Just created.
Okay. Self-check question. How does Rails decide where and how to create the development database? And check the DB and config subdirectories.
Okay. So
In the DB is in the config subdirectory, there is a database.yml file.
So
And it looks like, so it goes to development and database db/development.sqlite3, which if you go to the DB directory, you can see there's a file development.sqlite3.
and where's the default? What does the default do?
So
I see we have default, development, test, and production. So maybe does the default just pick the DB type or something?
the default,
So first it's saying ensure that the SQLite 3 gem is defined in your gem file. Gem.SQLite 3, then default. And default adapter is SQLite 3.
This is a reference to is this a proc, default proc in Ruby?
What's a proc?
So it's like a block of code that's named.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's, yeah, I don't know. So we can see in the development section, it's got default. All the development, test, and production all have this.
Could we say they're just settings?
Yeah. Just config settings for different ones for development, test, and production, right?
Yeah. And then so maybe what I think maybe the default, you call it proc, the default proc is just making all these other blocks dry, because on another day, what I will do is to have the adapter pull and timeout within each and every development, test, and production blocks. But now, since that stuff that could be repeating, they just decided to put them up there to keep the code dry, and then maybe add them using the how do I normally call them, the left elbow signs, the two left elbows. So they just include that inside there, and maybe database means the name of the database. So db.development.sqlite3, so it will create that within the db directory. Yeah, I think how you've said it makes sense. But I think when you do recdb migrate, how does it know that it should run development? Or
yeah, that's a good question. So how does it know we're in development?
because normally I think someone will pass the settings file that you. I'm not sure. Maybe we can just read, maybe do a Google search.
Let's see. Well, what happened? What's it show after we run that rake? The rake command.
What?
Like when we run rake db migrate, does it have any output?
Yeah.
Table.
Yeah, it only said.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything about which database it's migrating, I guess.
No.
So yeah, I don't know. There's nothing there.
Nope. So maybe I should do. dash. How do I think is this? I'm not sure. I think I'll check it later on. That's it. I think should be this. Q. Oh man, just mess this up. Okay, I think maybe we can just.
You know, so I noticed that if you look in the DB folder, there is only development.sqlite
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So it's not. Oh well, was that there? I guess was that created after the
I guess so,
call
because mine still doesn't have it, even after the migrate. Yeah.
Oh, yours doesn't have it?
Yeah, my DB directory doesn't have. So I've just run Rails DB migrate, and I don't have the development.sqlite 3.
Interesting.
Yeah. But then I think when I did that, I saw this.
Yep.
Yeah, how do I exit SQLite 3 command window?
That's the output that I got too.
Okay. SQLite. So let me just see. How do I quit? Command F, exit. I think I'm lost in this. So it's wasting our time. Create table. Help.
I just don't see how it can tell that we're in development.
Yeah.
Oh, let's open the rake file.
Rake file. What's the rake file?
It's in the root of the app directory, so it's in the Rotten Potatoes Rails intro.
So it
rake file. So when you run rake,
so this is the file that runs.
Require file dot expand path dot config / app application. Okay.
That's not here, right? Config application. File expand boot Rails. bundler require Rails, rotten potatoes, Rails application, config active records raised, transaction callbacks equals true. Maybe X. So this doesn't say so much what I want. So there's some. I think the default for the rec tasks is always development unless you specify otherwise, maybe. So there's this guy saying rec task in Rails always initialize development. So the first line of rec file in any Rails app is require file expand.
Yeah.
That this causes .env to always be initialized in the development. Loading.env and .env development unless Rails env is explicitly set to the environment before running the rec. Unless Rails env is before running the rec.
Okay.
Yeah, which leads to unexpected results when running the rec tasks that affect other environment. For example, put a variable in m.test. Yeah, so I think it initializes by default in test unless someone Rails env is explicitly set when running rec before running rec. Yeah, so maybe that's the reason.
So that's why I picked development.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and how come I still don't have my DB? Do I need to refresh this?
I don't know.
Or do I need to run it again? Yeah, but I've managed to open the database. See here.
Is there can we see that there's a table? So it should have added it should have created a movies table. Can we?
So the tables we have are movies. You see?
Yes. Okay.
Movies,
so it did.
Then maybe select all from movies. Yeah, so maybe how do I describe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do it in either SQLite lists. That I think but the table the migration has been done. So maybe okay, ls db. Yeah, it's here. So maybe this has just delayed to load.
Oh, it's there. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe we can continue.
Cool. All right, let's check out the answer.
Yep.
Rake db migrate command creates a local development database following specs in config/database.yml and runs the migrations in db/migrate to create the app schema. It also creates and updates the file db/schema.rb to reflect the latest database schema. Note, it's important to keep this file under version control.
Yep.
Okay. What tables got created by the migrations? And we saw the movies table, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Movies table itself. Oh, and the Rails internal schema migrations
Yeah.
table
maybe
there. Which migrations has been one?
Yeah, after running the RecDB migrate, I saw create movies migrating.
Yeah.
Movies migrated. So it didn't indicate here. Yeah, but looking into the database, we could see.
Yeah, we did see that other. Yep. Okay, so.
Yeah.
All right, now insert seed data into the database. Initial data items that the app needs to run. Break db seed. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and this data. You're having a problem with your RVM?
No, I just so I installed the 2.4.0, but I didn't switch to it,
Okay.
and I don't know
how to set the local one.
Switch to it now that, and then would I have to rebundle? Because
yeah, I think
mean,
so.
Should I do that, or do you think? I don't know. I think I should just leave it for now and see if it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Because even, I mean, it's just a minor point.
Yeah.
Difference. I don't know. It'll be a good experiment.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. That way. Okay, so break db seed.
So there's a self-check question. Okay, you not run the seed.
Okay. It ran no output.
Yep.
Okay. Self check question. What seed data was inserted and where was it specified? Int rake tact db seed explains the seed task. Rake tact explains other available rake tasks.
Okay.
Okay.
So they say rake
tact seed.
dbseeds.rb.
Load the seed from db/seeds.rb. Okay. Let's take a look.
So it just has
Aladdin.
How do they call them?
When Harry Met Sally, The Help, Chocolat, Amelie.
Yeah.
This is a good library of movies here.
Okay. I've only watched Terminator.
The Terminator?
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's it. And Aladdin. I don't think.
Yep. I think before we move on.
Was that the one by Arnold Schwarzenegger? The Terminator?
Yep.
It was done in 1984.
Yeah, so the original one. The one that you're probably thinking of was, I think was it Terminator 2 or Terminator 3?
Okay.
Terminator 2 was like I think was the big hit in the 90s.
Yeah, that's the one I watched.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we need to watch all the rest of these movies before we can continue so that we know what's going on.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen Chicken Run, or have I? Maybe I did back in 2000. And I don't think I've seen Chocolat or The Help, and I've seen all the rest.
Okay.
So we'll catch up on that later.
Yeah, sure. So nice. So the seeds are stored in DB seeds.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I'm not sure if in bigger Rails apps, like for example, I know there are some bigger ones like this website one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see now within the DB, they have seeds.rb, and yeah, probably this is how they do load the seeds. Okay. Then we have schema.rb.
Yeah, schema. So that's in the seeds? Or wait, no, that's in the
No,
schema.rb.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In the same directory, we have the migrate directory.
Yep.
That has these. I think this migration was created in 2015. So that's why it's serialized 2015-0809 createmovies.rb.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think all the migrations come inside this directory. And then we have the schema.rb, where I think is the place guys define the schema. String, text, datetime. I'm not sure who edits this file, but I think that's where the schema of the database was.
What file?
Defined schema.rb.
Oh, yeah. So it's this is basically defining the table, like so. I guess it defines all the tables in your database, right?
Yeah. And then we have schema.rb seeds. Yeah. So I think that makes sense. Yep.
All right. And then at this point, you should be able to run the app locally, Rails server, and navigating to localhost/movies in your browser. If you're using C9, and navigate to the link generated within C9. Okay.
Okay. So maybe
I will do that.
Yep.
I'm going to open another terminal to do that, though. It was Rails server, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Rotten Potatoes. Oh, Rotten Potatoes is that site that rates the movies, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember.
Let me Control C. Here we go.
Yep. Can you just click?
I lost it now.
You can just do localhost 3000. No, you're not. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. Okay. Let's click on it. There we go. Okay, rotten potatoes. Where's my? I don't have the ability to rate anything.
You can add a new movie though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, edit.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, you can add it and yeah.
Okay. And next is part 0B.
Preparation to deploy to Heroku.
Okay.
So I
If
can
you
read
have-
this, yeah. Preparation.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Preparation deploy to Heroku. If you have deployed to Heroku before, just create a new app container with Heroku create. I think we need to do Heroku login first. So maybe Control C. Mine is Heroku login.
Oh, mine says Heroku command not found.
Wow.
Oh wait. Well, okay. So no, but Heroku is found. It's just the create's not found. Heroku login.
Yeah, Heroku login.
Oh, command not found.
But you did
Okay, so yeah. Huh?
So you're going to try something?
Let's see. Steps from the beginning are in. I don't know. I already did all this.
So they're saying if this is your first time deploying to Heroku, you will need to do two things. First, sign up for free where you
Start again.
Yes.
The other thing?
Yes.
Oh.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hey,
Sorry, we're late. I'm late.
no problem.
Peter, I think, is going to join us. We got stuck on a. This is the only issue with doing stuff before the. I think you're in the same position a couple weeks ago, Dan, where you have something like some challenge that you're trying to work out, and then it's like, oh, it's time to go join the other one. You're like, no, but I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we think we've discovered a bug in the course.
Hi guys.
Hey. Yeah,
Right.
what's up?
I think maybe I'll put in an issue, Peter.
Yes, it must be the same, man. It must be.
Yeah. It's not working the same way for people using VS Code and people using Atom. Or
That's
maybe
super-
it's the fact that, I mean, because we're both using the terminal.
yeah.
So maybe it's the difference between Mac users and Linux users.
Surely. Surely. Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
Unix is different.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I can't think of
Mm.
any other reason why it would.
Nah, there might be. That's the only thing.
The only thing that makes sense, right?
Exactly.
Even though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, ask Sam. I'm really curious what he's gonna say, or any senior person.
Yeah,
This is not. I have no idea.
it's definitely a senior person's fault for sure.
Mm. Sure. Where are you guys? I've seen some Sinatra.
Yeah, we are on part B, part 0B of
Oh, cool.
3.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Really,
Yeah.
really far.
Did you finish week 2 today, or had you finished that already?
We did finish that last week, so we just had the readings, and now today we've just okay. I did not submit my homework, so I just did submit, and Dan, I think, did submit already. So
Yep.
yeah, so what we've just done today is to submit and go through part A of preparation to part 3, how to Rails intro, and then now we are in part B.
Yeah. Any no surprises when you submitted?
Yep.
It's just not 100%.
We only got 87.5 based on the.
Did it tell you why?
Yeah, it had some output about some failing tests, but there is like tests added on that weren't in the spec
Yeah.
file.
Yeah. You got to be careful for that. I mean, I don't know if you care. And anyways, I don't want to hijack the meeting because you guys are in the middle of it, especially. But if you did want to work out why, then we can try to support you with that.
I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be now as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, and also I can't even seem to figure out why Peter's computer is different than mine.
So yeah, I think these two, and I think one is duplication.
Oh yeah.
Maybe no, no, don't do that.
Are you so? Did both of you are getting the same grade for the same reason?
Yeah.
Oh, then you also got the same reasons.
I think so. Well, hold on. I mean, I ran it like last Sunday. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, because I thought those things about invalid guess should be labeled as a non-letter, and invalid guess should be labeled as a blank. It seems like you did do validation for those. I think that
No.
doesn't have. That might not have anything to do with you guys because it's you see there it's saying mechanized response code error. Well, unhandled response. Yeah, it's not very helpful, is it?
So what happened? So we set up that in the model
Yep.
for the word with guesses to, or no, not word with guesses. The guess function does nothing if you say like repeat an output or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So and if you look at that, one of those failing cases is like it should do something else on the output. It should throw an error or something.
Yeah.
So
it's just a matter of maybe not having the error message.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Hang person invalid guess should label a blank form as invalid. What's a blank form?
It's like what I think it's like what you're doing, like if the person passes in an empty string, for example. Right?
Yep.
If the person just tries to guess, on something that's nothing, then you wouldn't consider that a valid guess. Because I've actually used this in my English class. I've actually used this game before. We do it every week. We do one game of Hangman, and you'd be surprised at how many users actually hit the guess without putting in anything, or you kind of want to catch those so the person doesn't waste their guess. But yeah, anyways, I don't know if we should.
So let's take a look. I'm gonna open up the hang person game .rb and let's see.
So I think I'd have to check, but if again, we don't have to do this now if you don't want to. But if you go to the README, they talk about like the use of Flash. Do you remember about that?
Mm-hmm.
Is there somewhere that you're using now?
Was it not activated in the?
Let's take a look. I think Spec Helper.
No, I don't think so. Spec Helper. So you're saying that like locally you got all the tests.
Oops.
Oh, cool. So you did use. So I guess I'm not sure if it's worth spending the time trying to explain to you. I guess I'm a little confused why it's failing the autograder part if you are validating for empty and you're displaying a message as well, which they might be looking for.
Where are we validating?
I think you're validating in that, like, saying that if the sorry, that regex that you're using, I'm gonna have to check, but you were saying, like, if it's not a back in the guess, is it the guess or no hang person game?
Hang person game.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I don't think. So remember when we did this post guess method, it said we're gonna what would happen if the user didn't enter anything, and that's like, how do we handle that? And we said we were gonna do two string. Yeah. Which will change a nil to a blank string, right? So that's what this is doing. It changes it to a blank string and then grabs the first character, which if it was a blank string, it'll be the blank string. And then we check for you've already used that letter. And then redirect to show, but we did not check.
I mean,
All right,
I think
so,
for Mike's the way he implemented it, I think is a little bit different than the way you did. But I think the way Mike had done it was like checking if the guess was nil and in the hang person game, the RB. And then after he checked if it was nil, he checked if it was empty. And then after he checked if it was empty, he checked if it was actually a word character. And I don't know, I guess I think maybe yeah. Anyways, like I said, I don't know if now is the right time. Mike's gone.
Okay, well, anyways, yeah, I guess we can look at that later, maybe.
Sure. Yep.
And I'm running into another issue, even though I know I set up my Heroku.
Oh, really?
With the last one. Now I'm running it. I'm getting bash Heroku command not found.
Have you installed a Heroku CLI?
I would think, since I remember last week we did that, and I tried it, build, and then I did install the I updated the node, and then I was able to do it. So it should be installed on this.
Can you try a Heroku-V to check the Heroku version on the machine? Let's give it a try.
I see Heroku-V command not found. So, but I think I've done this 3 times before, because like I did it before we even met last weekend, and then last weekend during the pairing I did it again, and now I'm having to do it again. So I'm wondering what I'm doing. I must be doing something wrong.
I think I know you're using AWS C9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I know what's going on. I posted something in the discussion forum. I can try to navigate there, or you can navigate there and see. Although I'm not sure if I completely understand what the problem is, but this Heroku command not found in AWS C9, those ring a bell. So do you have
the edX discussion forum?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something you can add the Heroku CLI differently on AWS C9. No? So in cloud services, it's not the same as on local, right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it's to do with I forget, but you use the tool. You did the tool belt, right?
Yeah.
It should be there. Is it not there? Right. Let me see if I can find. You're doing the new iteration of the cards, correct?
Here it is.
That'd be fine.
That's weird. When I tried to filter, because I think I had to do all post and then filter out for this post. Okay, so
you did that to Heroku.com install blah blah
blah. Did I do that? Yes, I think that's what was failing last week.
Yeah.
So I've done this. This is like the third time I ran this command and then did npm install -g Heroku. I've already done that twice.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's really strange. I mean, do you want to check and see the Node version that you have there?
I wonder if is it installed. So hold on 1 second. Let me go to In-Person app. That wouldn't be. Yeah, that wouldn't.
I see what you're thinking there.
I don't.
It's worth trying, you know.
I don't get it. Like, yeah, that's.
I don't really either. But could you check and see the Node version that you have installed?
Yeah.
I believe that you actually ran the command. I'm just wondering if it is actually persisting your like
was it npm?
No, yeah, I think just no. It'd be Node version. Node Yeah, so you still have the version 6, you know?
Yeah, but like I said, I've run the V8.
No, totally. I believe you. I'm just wondering. It's not actually saving it for some reason.
I've added like a link in the message, like it's a command line.
Yeah,
input.
so I guess that's the same as the that he's ran before.
The wget.
Yeah, that's that first command that. But then after running that in AWS Cloud 9, you still don't have the right you don't have the right Node version installed to be able to use Heroku. I would, yeah. The thing that's more surprising to me is that that second command, the npm install globally Heroku, is not that should give you Heroku. I mean, maybe try doing that nvm install version 8, and then before you run that second command, see if then you have access to Heroku.
Okay.
Because that npm install globally should.
Like it says, version 8 is already installed.
Ah, right. So maybe instead of install version 8, maybe you need to say nvm use or like nvm list or nvm. I'm not sure what's the nvm. Maybe it is installed. You're just not using it. It seems like.
Right. It says that.
What is it?
Default is 6, so we need to change that default.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you can say nvm default 8 version 8 or something like that.
Wait, do you think it's this?
I think it's without the tag, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I ran this command. Yeah, or maybe
nvm use. Oh wait, no.
I'm trying to pull up the. Let's see. nvm install, nvm ls remote, nvm ls and I'm saying okay. Blah blah blah. Yeah, use nvm use 8.11 or whatever.
How do I make it my default though?
Yeah, so it is there. There's examples: install, use, run, exec, alias default. No, I think it is default. Maybe you just need to say 8.9 or 8.11.4. Let me see if it has here. Alias, alias, list, use, kind, which.
So the nvm alias command doesn't work.
NVM alias.
Yeah, it's there in the example.
NVM alias.
Yeah, I think that works. By targeting a version to the default alias. Yeah, NVM alias default. But then you can pass in a version number with that?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Should I just put 8 or?
Yeah.
You could try it. You might have to. Nice. Now you have access to Heroku?
Let's have a look.
Awesome.
Hey, nice.
Thank
so I'm
you.
gonna
Thanks,
add that to the instructions there on the post because
Yeah.
my post is incomplete actually.
Okay.
Oof.
So now Heroku create.
Yeah.
Heroku create.
You can choose a custom name, don't forget.
All right.
You just missed it. It's fine.
I'm shielded cliffs now, so.
Yeah, sometimes it's funny actually, so it's worth trying.
Okay. Mike, you're back?
Yeah, I'm on, but I got an error.
Share your screen and maybe we can figure out.
We couldn't figure out the other. We
Are you using Atom or VS Code? That's the first question.
Hey, sorry. So it was NVM alias default 8 is what you ran?
Yes.
So when I do this, when I go to this,
I do this and I go to this.
so I'm
your build.
This is perfect. So where's your README, Mike?
My README.
Yes.
Where's my README? README, where are you?
Yeah, you're like me, man. You've got 20,000
I
tabs
just
open.
closed one I didn't want to close.
Okay.
So maybe I'll open it up again. Yeah.
Is it here? Okay, get push master. Yep.
Git push Heroku master.
Okay.
Oh, I need to do that.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes, I
Okay.
think.
So where does it go back to the go back to the thing? You may see the file the first time, the authentication, is the app running on Heroku?
This?
No,
This
go back to the readme. No, you already did that.
Okay.
Is the app running on Heroku? If you navigate to the URL that's printed at the end of the results from git push master, you'll get a sorry, but something went wrong error in the browser. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So it says we can get you a hint as to why by running the following command.
Heroku logs. Okay.
Actually, you got the exact error that you were supposed to get, right?
Why, Matt, the description lets people failing? And
Why
yeah, why is it not teaching them first to migrate and then see how it looks?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. You would think that it would. I guess they decided that it was a really opportune time for them to see a error in Heroku. But
okay, so to use the logs.
I think just to use the logs. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Although I didn't. I guess I came across this. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. I don't remember running Heroku logs at this point in the course. Although, yeah. Does that make sense to you, Mike?
Yeah, it's saying there's an error 500, and select movies.star from movies. And am I on?
Yes.
So template error, undefined table error. So movies does not exist.
Yeah.
Because we didn't push it to Heroku. Wait.
At any point, did you create the database?
Yeah,
Didn't we?
Yeah, I created the database. Like we did the migrate.
Okay.
But
So can you go to the command line and say git status?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
just
okay, so we didn't update our local repo.
Well, I mean, it's been a minute. Can you go back to the README and show me where you created the database? Like,
where's the README? So I think in the so we did recdb migrate.
Yeah. So yeah, so the instance of Heroku and your local instance, whether you're using AWS or local, that's two different things. The database on your local machine is actually a really simple database connected to your development environment, or in the AWS the same. But on Heroku, that's a different database, even a different type of database actually.
It's PostgreSQL, or
yeah. By default, yes. So actually, the two are not the same.
right?
Yeah. If you go back to the README, I think I mean, the unfortunate thing is that you kind of run into this, and then you go to where you were deployed to Heroku.
The README.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deployed to Heroku. Yeah. And then if you go down, go down, get push Heroku master. There you go. So then you did Heroku logs, and you should see this relation movies does not exist.
Yeah.
So you that's exactly what you're supposed to see.
Yeah. So I did you get the same
I did.
Okay. So just
I mean, I think I think everyone gets the same at this point. Not me. I mean, unless you did something wrong. But yeah, the idea is they wanted you to come in, run into this error. You know, that's what Peter was just asking, like about. I don't know if you picked up on that, but he was just asking if there's a specific reason that they want you to fail, and then like get you to succeed instead of telling you what you need to do to succeed first, and then you know.
Yeah, because this is not describing why is it happening. That's my kind of fear.
Yeah.
Because from this point, anything so any action you might run locally, when you deploy to Heroku, you have to run the same commands, almost the same commands on the Heroku instance as well.
Yeah.
Which is related to database or.
It seems like I mean, I've run into this issue more when I was doing like development on my own than I have like, you know, of course, I guess. But it just seems like it would be nice if it was something that like why can't when we push to Heroku, why can't the migrations be run automatically?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any reason why that can't be linked, you know?
I don't know the specific reason, honestly. The only thing I can imagine is the different type of database. So
yeah, but you would think that like using like CI or something like that, you would be able to say like, hey, when this is pushed up, like grab all the stuff on Heroku side, I mean, and then run the migrations automatically instead of. I mean, I don't know how many times you have to actually like. I mean, seeding it maybe is different. Maybe you would want to have control over seeding it, but I'm trying to think: would there be any reason why someone would want to push up to Heroku, but they would not want to run the migrations? I mean, not that I know of, unless they accidentally. Unless they accidentally.
You can revert back, right? So yeah, that's the thing. So after you migrated, but you can still revert back even if you migrated actually.
Yeah. Anyways. Nice.
I remember something that was one of the case actually, that it's easier to revert when it's not migrated when after migration. There was something, but I don't remember exactly the conversation. Or maybe the conversation I remember was that about it's always easier to revert the last migration than some migration in the process.
Yeah, true.
But I cannot call it back.
So Daniel, you're
Yeah, so I'm wondering why it's not showing. I thought I committed. So I'm just wondering why it's not showing my local database was migrated. I guess I didn't commit it locally.
Yeah, like can you go to the DB migrate and the working tree on the left? Because like I guess I'm not sure if they
It's got the table.
Yeah, and then you have in your schema you have stuff in the schema.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have the table. So what are you wondering? Why?
So my working directory, like and this git status, it only shows changes to the gem file in a working directory, and then
done.
If you look at git history, I have.
Maybe you can check your git ignore.
Yeah.
Git ignore. Oh, right. Because it's ignoring the database changes. Right.
Yeah.
That's what .git ignore does because it's a development database, right?
Yeah.
What is it? I mean, I don't know. I don't remember that. Could you check the git ignore and like he suggested, and then we can. I'm not sure if that would be the case. I don't think you do git ignore your schema file.
What's
Yeah,
that?
anything.
Anything in the development.SQLite,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Anything
But-
about the
but not the
extension.
schema.
no, and not the migration either. Because that migration is needed. Like if Heroku doesn't know what the migrations are, then it can't run the migrations.
Mhm.
So that definitely should not be git ignored, unless I'm having a brain
Okay.
fart. But no, I wouldn't. I don't think it's because of that. Yeah, I get what your question is now.
Unless
I was-
I amended the commit, I don't think I did. I mean, the last commit that I see is merge pull request.
Yeah.
What we are checking now? Sorry.
He's wondering why there's no, like, if he does a git status, then he doesn't show that there's any changes to the schema or to the migration. The migration doesn't appear there, which leads him to believe that he already committed it, but then he can't see it in the commit history. So he's wondering why it's not in either one of those places.
Yep.
But have we made changes to those files, the schema and the? I think we just
Well,
I think so.
we migrated the database, which did change the schema.rb file, right?
Mhm.
So if it's not ignored and it's changed, then it should show up in the git status, I would think.
I think that there should be a difference between making the migrations and migrating. Like I don't know, maybe if I check to the original repo to see if there's no difference between the schema.rb, but I was thinking that the schema.rb came already created as a migration, and then the migrate will just apply.
Oh, right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
so we just ran that command.
I mean-
this file was already there. It wasn't
Mhm.
changed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so maybe when you create a new model and make a migration for that
Yeah.
model, that's when the schema.rb may change. But since this was something that was there originally, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it
probably
could
right.
be. It could have been there originally, but if you did, did you? I don't remember. I can have a look. But did you you added that migration, or you just migrated it?
We just migrated.
Okay, but
Yeah.
either way, if you migrated something that wasn't there, like it created that table, then that would change the schema, right?
But the
How?
schema was there.
Yeah, the schema was already.
But okay, but I'm not saying it wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it would change. So if it changed, then it should show up the changes.
But you haven't changed the schema, no?
We haven't
No.
changed the schema. We haven't changed
Yeah,
the model.
migrating the database, I guess, doesn't change the schema because this was
No.
already.
So if you don't add an extra property to the model itself,
but
then
That's what I guess. So that's where I'm having a hard time understanding. So if the, like, when you run the migration, you run a migration to change the schema. That's the whole point of doing a migration. If there's nothing to change in the schema, then you don't have any migration to run.
But I think we were just applying the migrations. We were not.
Okay, but that's the same. I mean, in this case, that's exactly the same thing. You're just like playing with the words that you.
I think it does change the schema in the database, but this is a schema file that just defines the schema that's going into the database. So when you run the migration, it's going to change your database to add that schema.
And the .sql files are
But this was already. It wouldn't change this file.
Hold on. trying to. You guys are on the Rotten Potato Rails intro, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think the migration is actually just creating the structure of your database. So if you don't add new property, this shouldn't actually change the migration. Yeah.
but again, like I don't. I mean, I don't want to focus on.
What's you are after?
What's
I
well,
just
I
wanna
mean,
commit this in.
sorry, Dan.
I guess this is all I've done was so other than migrating the database, all we have done is run bundle, and so that's probably
I'm not finding the README. I don't know what's wrong with what I'm doing. We're in Homework Rails intro.
So you're thinking that why in the README they say to run migrate when you don't need to run migrate because it has been already there.
I mean, if that's the theory that we're working on, is that there's no reason. I mean, the schema was already created with the table and all the columns that it needed. But I wouldn't assume that, because if that's the case, then why would they run the migration in the first place? I mean, yeah, I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
We just ran the migration to create the database, the develop.SQLite3, which is included in the git ignore, and it's ignored. So our migrate just created the database.
So there's the only thing that's get ignored is that one file, development.SQLite3.
Yeah, and that's the only thing we created with the migrate, nothing else.
Yeah, so okay, I'm having a look. Like when you forked it and cloned it, the table did exist, and the schema did exist. So yeah, you're right. It didn't. There wasn't any changes to show up in GitHub.
okay.
They haven't asked you to change anything yet.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I think you're right. You're running the migration. I guess. Well, I guess you're running the migrations to add it to your local database.
So now you should be able to navigate to your app's URL. Open your browser to that URL in case you forgot it. However, so I think we can move to.
That's what I'm
What one?
gotta run this
Oh yeah,
command.
you haven't run the command. Okay. No.
Mike, can you
rec db migrate. Heroku run rec db migrate. Yeah, Matt, you're saying something.
I was just asking if you had already ran the seed as well.
Yeah, I'm successful.
Awesome. Sasa, Lira, Sasa.
Lyra.
Lyra.
Oh,
Lyra. Lyra.
Oh, Lyra. What's Lyra?
Hello. She's too busy playing.
And my coffee is cold. I'll be back.
There we go.
Yay!
Okay.
Rotten potatoes.
Rotten potatoes.
Potato, potato. Oh.
Oh, sorting. This is gonna be fun.
Sorting. All right. So we're all on the same page, right? Should I go on with the reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, or did Matt step
Oh, yeah.
away, or
Matt
No,
is doing coffee now.
all right.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, we're on the same page. Just heating up my coffee.
All right. So go ahead. On the list of all movies page, make the column headings for movie title and release date into clickable links. Clicking one of them should cause the list to be reloaded, but sorted in ascending order on that column. For example, clicking the release date column heading should redisplay the list of movies with the earliest released movies first. Clicking the title header should list the movies alphabetically by title. For movies whose name begins with long non-letters, the sort order should match the behavior of string hash then. When listing page is redisplayed with sorting on a column enabled, the column header that was selected for sorting should appear with a yellow background. You should do this by setting controller variables that are used to conditionally set the CSS class of the appropriate table heading to highlight, and pasting this simple CSS into Rotten Potatoes app/assets/stylesheets/default.css file. Table hash movies th.highlight, background color yellow. Okay. The result should look something like this. Important for grading purposes. The link, that is the A tag, for sorting by title should have the HTML element ID title header, and the link for sorting by release date should have the HTML element ID release date header. The table containing a list of movies should have the HTML element ID movies. So this is just for the auto grader, I guess, to grade this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Hints and caveats. The current Rotten Potatoes views use the Rails provided resource-based routes helper movies path to generate the correct URI for the movies index page. You may find it helpful to know that if you pass this helper method a hash of additional parameters, those parameters will be parsed by Rails and available with the params hash. Databases are pretty good at collections of rows in sorted order according to one or more attributes. Before you rush to sort the collection returns from the database, look at the documentation for ActiveRecord.order and see if you can get the database to do the work for you. Don't put code in your views. The view shouldn't have to sort the collection itself. Its job is just to show stuff. The controller should be spoon-fed the view exactly what is to be displayed. That the controller should spoon-feed the view exactly what is to be displayed. Submission. You'll submit the code for this part after you deploy on Heroku, and when you supply your Heroku deployment URL in part 3. For now, commit all the changes you have made so far and deploy them to check that they work on Heroku before moving on to the next. So do that after we make the changes. Okay.
Joseph joined us.
Huh? Oh, hello, Joseph.
Joseph!
Hi.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Yeah, it's
We were just about to have fun with sorting movies based on release date and based on title, and also adding a cool background color yellow to them.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And it uses like passing params from the views to the controller, which is really cool. Yeah. And hopefully we're going to have an opportunity to use Pry at some point. Or Bybug.
I think you should join the Pry Hall of Fame.
I am actually on the core team.
I think you should commit. Yeah, actually, yeah, you should help that open source project growing.
Yeah, I should become a contributor for sure. Also, we think we've discovered a bug in the advanced course of the CS169. That's exciting.
The new one or the old one?
I think it's the old one. I don't think there is a new CS169.2x. Is there?
Oh, okay.
Anyways, yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks for joining us.
I was just going to look at how we're going to go about sorting, and one of the hints was record.order. To see if we can get the database to do the work for us. It's always good. I like getting things or do all the work for me.
Yep. Means that you can spend more time doing cool things like changing the background color.
Mm-hmm.
Or other things.
ActiveRecord.order.
Did your screen hang or have you not?
No, I'm just looking for. This is the first time I'm viewing the Rails API documentation. So, where would I find said documentation for ActiveRecord?
Oh. That's a documentation for Ruby API. I thought it was a stack trace, like there was an error.
Oh, no.
I sent a link to another page if you're having trouble finding what you're looking for.
Okay.
You can search for like .order if you want to narrow it down. Like I originally searched for order, but then there was hundreds of them. So because they have like a class order and stuff like that as well. But that, yeah, there you go. You can call .order on a collection.
Yep, I think that one.
Okay. So it's all right.
Have you
Don't
done
put my
this?
code into
Yes.
the views. Okay. So where should we put our code? Let's take a look.
You're searching for the CSS folder, then
First, I think it was about making the links clickable. Was it?
Oh, making the links. Oh, right. So I'm skipping ahead probably. Right. Make the column headings for movie title, and release date into clickable links. Yeah, but so
Like, where do we do that?
we do need to change it. Well, seems to me like we would need to change the view to add the anchor. I mean, add the.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense then, because I think when it's talking about like the I'm not sure the exact wording it used, but the logic, you don't want to put the business logic in the Peter's had to drop off. I think when you want to keep the logic of like ordering the movies maybe away from the views, but like to make a something clickable or to change the like to change it into a header or to change it into a paragraph or to change it into whatever you want, that will happen in the views.
Okay.
So you can see there the like where
Got a Hamel.
yeah it's difficult for me, Hamel. But can you see like the difference between line 14 and line 17, for example?
Okay, yeah. This is using the link to method, so that's what we want.
Yep. And you can check out the browser as well to see what the difference looks like on the browser. But
yeah. Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we want to change movie title,
Mhm.
rating, and release date.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yes.
does your Atom make these files pretty?
Yeah, what?
Sorry.
Your Atom.
Does it make them pretty?
Does it have like the color
yeah.
code?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I'm not sure if it did off the bat or if I had to install a package. I can have a look in the background. And yeah, Daniel, you're actually correct. I was pointing. I was asking about line 14, but it's actually line 7. So yeah, good catch on that. Because it's the table header. Yeah.
So we want the link. And this is going to what's it going
So
to
yeah,
link to?
mine's not pretty either.
Oops. So when we click the link, what we wanted to do is sort it based on movie title, and then show.
Yeah. Maybe. So what page are you on right now?
I am on well, I'm in a
Yeah, just on that, like that. What file, I guess, is the
like the slash.
Sorry.
What file?
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the index.
Yeah. So when you click on this, are you saying you think that you're going to change from the index to the show?
Okay, so well, no. I
No,
guess
right?
no. Yeah, so
You wanna-
it'll go back to the index. So we need.
Yeah. Mike, do you remember we were talking a little bit about convention over configuration?
Yeah.
Last time we were. Do you think you can explain that a little bit and maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So maybe what I can say about it is that they have, I think in Ruby they have this motto. I don't know how to name it, but they say convention over configurations. Basically, they tend to use conventions maybe in naming files, or so that you can easily link which file, like for example, if you go into the models, you'll have the movie.rb. That's a model. Then when you go into the views, you see you'll have the movies directory.
Movies, right?
That will definitely tell you that it's working with the movie model. Then when you go into the controllers, maybe you'll find that they have movies controller or something.
Yeah.
So they use those conventions to make things a little bit easier to find and figure out for guys.
Yep. So have you heard of MVC?
Yeah, so model view controller.
Yep.
I've gone through a little bit of the I've gone through the videos and stuff, so I got the model view controller and kind of the flow.
Okay, cool.
Where a browser requests a page, and then it goes to the Rails router, and then it goes to the controller.
Yep.
And then the controller.
Can you visit the controller real quick?
Okay. So application controller. Movies controller.
Well, you could go there, but I think it would be better the movies controller. And so you see there we have a collection of methods. And do any of those methods look like the names of the methods look similar to the names of the pages and the views?
Yeah. So we have index here.
Yeah. So when we're talking about like convention over configuration, like Mike's absolutely correct in the sense that the names of the files, like so the movies controller is related to the movie model, which is related to the movie views, but it goes a step further than that even. Like so, you would expect that the index right now, like if you look at the index method, it's like has a instance method at movies, which is equal to the movie model .all, and so that's going to feed into the index.html.haml, right? So like when it's going to go from the router, like you said, and then it's going to hit the controller, and then from the controller, like if you're doing this from the ground up, like you would notice that like you would create like maybe you have them a route, and then you would try to go to that route, and then it would say, we haven't found any controller that's that, and then you go make a controller, and then it would say, we don't have any templates, so you would go through that whole process. But so the index, like this convention, they've agreed that, hey, like it's a good idea if we have an index method, that index method will look for an index .html, .erb, or .haml file. So if you rename, for example, if you rename that index.html.haml to, pizza.html.haml, then you can do that. There's nothing that Rails keeps you from doing that, but it'll just get confused, It works. It'll make your life difficult. It's like, it's designed to be like, we've kind of agreed that it makes logical sense for the index controller to look for an index file, in the views.
Yeah, so like basically if I in this controller, this could even be in like empty. I mean, it wouldn't, well, I don't know. It would still point to this index.html.
Yeah, I mean-
view, right?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of having it empty, you could do that and it'll give you an error, you know. But why don't you change that movie.all to movie.first, for example, and then refresh the page. Well, you might need to stop the server. And you even started the server? No, okay, don't do that. But because you're just working with this on Heroku at the moment, right? Or do you have a server going?
No, I have a local server going.
Oh, do you? Okay, so you could do that if you want. You need to stop it and start it again, and you can probably guess what it would do.
Yeah, so it would just display the first one. So this would be a one line.
Yeah,
Aladdin.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
okay, and we wanted to sort.
So I guess I got a little sidetracked. So the point is that you would want it to stay on the index. Well, probably. I mean, it's a question you need to answer,
Right.
But you probably would want it to stay on the and you said something about the show page. So if you look at if you have a look at the show method in the movies controller, you can maybe try to see what that will do.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can look at the show view and see what's on that page and try to see what we use show for if you don't have a good idea already. So yeah, the shows there, yeah.
ID params ID. Okay, right.
And then it actually even tells you we'll render the show dot blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So and you can see that it's changed from all the movies to I mean it seems like one movie because it's singular, right?
So like if I go here and click on more
Mm-hmm.
more about Aladdin.
Yep. And then I guess if you go there to the show.html.haml, you would expect to find something that says details about and then
Gotcha.
or something, you know. So
Okay.
yeah, you wouldn't want to route to that.
No.
But have you learned yet how to find what routes you have available for your?
Yes. Let's take a look.
Yeah, cool.
It is config.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Here we go.
Okay. So this might or might not be very helpful for you. It probably wouldn't, because you just have on line 17, you have resources for movies. And then if you don't know you could go searching on the documentation for what is resources going to give me. But actually, to clarify my question was, have you learned how to see what routes you have available from the terminal?
Oh. Let me think. What routes are available from the terminal? Console? Do we need to go to the console? The Rails console? Okay.
No. Actually, there's an easier way than that. Mike, do you remember the command that I'm looking for?
The command to see the available route?
I bet it starts with Rails.
Yeah.
Routes?
Close, actually.
Show routes?
Rails are?
No. Joseph, do you know?
I don't think so. But I remember you showed us once.
Yeah, that's okay. So it's actually rake routes. So no, you don't need Rails actually. No, just rake
Rake
and
routes.
then just rake and
So
actually, yep.
Rake and Rails.
Yep.
So we earlier before you came, we was saying that when you run rake, there's a rake file that's run somewhere within the app.
Yep.
So what's the difference between rake and Rails? Is rake the command Like, what does rec do?
So
It's
I guess
not-
you have a couple different things, like, because you do have rake tasks, so you can add your own task in these files. And then you also, so Rails 5 you use, so you've run before, like rake db migrate, rake db seed, rake db, all those things. So but after Rails 4, so Rails 5, you do the same. You can run rake db migrate in Rails 5, but actually now is Rails db migrate. So and then I mean, I'm not sure if that's answering your question, but like so you would run Rails server, for example. I'm trying to think when else you would use Rails. And then if you're using Rails 5, you can use Rails DB migrate and seed and create and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I guess in this case, calling rake would be calling a rake task that's created by Rails themselves.
Mhm.
So in this case, like the rake task will go there and grab all the routes for you.
The rake is actually it's more to do with Ruby than Rails, right? Because it's like the make utility for Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
And so this rake file has like custom, like we can add our own tasks, as it says.
Exactly. So we have some rake tasks to in website 1, for example, where we go and grab all the languages for each of the projects repos in the Agile Ventures, and then we add those projects to the database. That's like a special, a rake task. That you can have rake tasks that do lots of things, and you can schedule them daily, or you can so you can see here, like this will give you all the the verbs, the HTTP verbs that and then it'll give you the path, and which is there on the left, and it'll give you on the right the controller that it maps to and the action. So in this case, we only have the movies controller that any of the routes go to.
Mm-hmm.
And then those go to so you can so you've identified, I guess, already. That's why your cursor is over it, which of the paths you would want. So the thing if you go back to the view .index.html.haml there, you notice that like on line 19 that you're copying, right? Or no, not line 19, line 17, sorry. You have the link to, and then you have what the link is going to say, and then the second part is the path. So you notice that says movie path, and then and you know that like what controller, what in action does that more about and the movie title link to? You're just clicking on it in the
movies get. Well, okay, so let's get movies map. Right. So movies is the action, right?
No, sorry, I meant like, so you see on the right hand side, it's like controller and action, which in this case they're using action to mean method.
Oh,
so
okay, movies. So index is action.
No. So go back to the browser.
The browser. Okay.
The one of those, yeah. And then you see where it says more about and the movie title.
Uh-huh.
And when you click on that, where does it lead to?
Movies /1. Okay.
Yep.
So then we go to movies/ID, get movies/ID. So it goes to show.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes to the show. Remember, we were just talking about that. It goes to the show controller, which is gonna find the movie by the ID, which in this case was 1, and then it's gonna send it to the show.html.haml, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see there on the left-hand side, what's the, you can, next to the, on the left of the get verb.
Yep. It's got movie.
Yeah. And now check out the difference between so it just says movie there on the left, but if you go to the index, what does it say on the movie underscore? No, sorry, in the code base. Yeah. On line 17.
So it's got movie path.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is that, like, when you say rake routes on the left-hand side there, it will say movie or it will say whatever. It never says path, but that path is the last thing that that you need to add. So whatever it says on the left-hand side, you need to add underscore path. So it might be like movies underscore with underscore same underscore director. But then after that, you still need to add underscore path, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, have a look again at the output
Yep.
on the in the batch terminal. So you can see there it has root, and then if you want to send people to the root, you need to say root underscore path, and then you see there new
So that
underscore
was movie path. This is going to be movies path.
Exactly.
Is that
That's
right?
what I was. And does the movies path take an ID or any parameters?
Well, does it take any parameters?
Yeah, sorry, that might be difficult for you to. Like so on the movie underscore path, you can see that it is looking for an ID, right?
Yeah, and it passes movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is movies path. So the parameter would be it would not take a parameter?
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
Okay.
Because if you go back to the controllers, like you're about to do, I think the controllers. So you can see there on line 8 for the show, if you need to pass in the movie because it's looking for the movie by its ID, you know? It's a specific movie that you want to show, right? Whereas the index, it's not a specific movie, it's actually all the movies.
Yeah.
In our case, we're going to do some cool things about sorting it and about, all that kind of stuff. But actually, we want to show all the movies. So you don't, and you can, if you look at the, if you have a look at those rake routes, you can see that it doesn't require you passing in any extra information, like an ID, for example. So
does it? Okay, right. Well, you're just telling that from the URI pattern, or?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So edit movie, and those other update, destroy. Those all require that you know which movie,
Yeah.
Whereas new movie doesn't require, because there's no there's no parameters you need to pass in, and same thing with movies.
Okay. So movies path.
Go ahead, Joseph.
Why is it edit a movie and it's using get?
Yeah, good question.
That should be post or patch.
So I have we can, if someone wants to try to answer that, I can also send a oh, cool. Hey, Mike, if you want to, you can, in Atom, you can go to edit and then go to preferences. And when you're on preferences on the left-hand side, on the bottom of the panel, you can say install, and then you can install a language HAML package for Atom that will give you pretty colors.
Yeah, I already looked for it, but I wasn't.
You don't? Yeah, you can try that, or you could just instead of saying language HAML, just put HAML. So
Okay.
let me see.
Eu acho que vocês não têm vontade de entrar, né, mano? Não tem, não. Pula panza.
Joseph, I mean, I can send you a video that explains it, although that would probably be antisocial because then you're going to need to watch the video.
Joseph, you're asking where is Saget?
Yes, that was the question.
Is it because the edit page first loads the form as a get? Like it first form,
Very
and
good, Mike.
then the post will be something else.
Yep,
Create.
right here.
So that's for a new, right? So you can notice that the new is a get as well. So new and edit are both gets requests because just exactly like Mike said, they're actually grabbing a form for the user to interact with.
Edit movie is a put.
And then nothing happens until the person clicks submit. In the case of a create, it posts that. And in the case of the edit, it updates, so it puts or patches, puts or patches depending on the action the person does, right? Like if they're editing by adding something, then it puts. If they're editing, I think, yeah. And if they're changing something, it patches. Does that make sense, Jess?
Yeah.
So the edit movie get it like gets the form.
Yep.
For
do you have the edit and new forms in your views? I think so, right?
Yeah, I have them.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the form that it needs to get. And then on line 16, you have a submit tag, which says update movie info. And then when you click on that, that will go to the, I mean, you can probably guess what controller that will go to, what method that will go to in the controller.
Yep, and it will go to movies update.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. All right, so I have modified my index to have movies path.
Yep.
And I think I need to still change something to get the sorting taken care of.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, it depends on how you want to do. Like,
we are not doing the TDD approach here where we'll have to run the tests.
No.
Okay.
I don't know why. That's something that I think is strange about the I think that's something strange about this course that I think would be nice if fun. So we have on Fridays. I don't know if Fridays are good for you guys and how everything works out, but on Fridays we have the Agile Dev Mob, which is for premium mob members. So you can, yeah, if you want, you can get like a free trial of that by doing some stuff like following Sam on Twitter or doing some stuff like that. And then also, yeah, there's the whole. I think Mike, you've seen it before. That you put in a PR for Website One about the whole like membership pricing and stuff like that. But that's one of the things that would be nice to work on. Like the Agile Dev Mob is to help with this MOOC. And one of the things I think that would be nice is for us to be able to write some tests so that future students don't get confused why week 2 we're like, talking about tests, and then week 3 we're just not, and then week 4 we are. Because also as well, like I think if you had tests, it could help you to it could help drive the development of these features that you're trying to do, But yeah, so and Dan, to your point, yeah, I guess like the question is whether you want to. So you need to change just the movies into a link, or you need to change all 3, or you need to change 2 of them. What do the instructions say?
Change all 3, but I figured I would start with 1, and then.
Yeah, you could do that.
I don't
That's
know.
what I was going to say. But I think it doesn't change. It doesn't say to change all 3. But anyways,
Oh, does it not?
I mean, I have the benefit of having done this before, so it's a little cheating. Yeah.
Oh, movie title and release date.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, I guess then you can decide whether you want to implement the sort feature first on one, and then sort it, and then do it on the other one. Up to you.
You want to sort by rating? All right.
You actually will want to sort by rating, but they actually do a different type of implementation that teaches you something else. So that's going to be your week 4 fun.
All right.
And I'm gonna have to get going soon because I started at 12:30 and still going. I guess you did as well, Daniel, because you joined us right after.
Yes, but I mean,
So yeah, but it's a little bit
Right.
earlier for me, I guess. Why are you changing that one?
I don't know. I was talking and
Yeah,
coding at the same time.
I thought that might be why. I thought I'd just save you a little bit of time. So
Okay. And we got movie
So I
title
guess,
and release
like,
date.
what are you thinking about? Like, I guess I'll hang out for a couple more seconds. What are you thinking about? Like, how to start the?
I'm thinking so we have this this active record
Yeah.
dot order.
Yep.
And I want to figure out next where to put this logic to sort.
Yep.
Where am I putting it in the Rails app? And
So
they said in the thing, we don't really want to put stuff in the view. We want to keep
Yep.
it clean.
Yep.
I would think the movie model. Well,
You could actually. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't do that. But where does it go directly after the view? Like when because the idea is
goes
that
back
now
to
you
the controller.
Yeah, you've turned this into a clickable link, right? So the clickable link is for the users to interact with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's pretend that someone has clicked on the movie title header, and then yeah, you're right. It goes back to the movie's controller.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that other link where you want to go to the show page goes back. So when you want to go to the show page, you click on the link, and then it comes back to here, and then it said ID is equal to params ID.
Yep.
And then that will say, movie, which is is that capitalization, and singularity of it means that it's the model that you're dealing with. So movie.find.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess the order method is different than the find method, but I mean, having looked at the movie model like you did and seeing that it's completely empty, and then having looked at this and seeing that there is some logic that is different but is related.
Okay. So this is the active record. So this is
let me ask.
Inheriting from the active record, right? So
yeah, go ahead, Joseph.
How are we getting all the movies?
This, like, how does this movie.all work?
Oh yeah, I know that's the thing that's giving us all the movies, but so you are importing the model directly into a controller.
Yeah, like the controller, you can do it in the views as well. Anywhere you use a capital and a singular, movie.all, for example, will, like the active record is what gives us that power to be able to do that.
All right.
So you can query, the database from the views, from the model, from the controller, wherever you want,
Okay.
I mean, there are good practices and not good practices, in like Daniel was saying, like that, it's not good practice to do a lot of business logic in the view, but if you wanted to, there's nothing that prevents you from doing that.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yes.
the funny thing was that looking into the movie's model, the how do I call it? The properties of the movie are not defined within the model. Is that so?
Yes.
So
So
why so?
Sorry.
Why do they not define the properties within the model?
So what were you expecting? What were you thinking to find? You're talking about, like,
the title and rating and
description and all that.
Yeah.
No, I understand. So I think that is that type of stuff that you're talking about. So you're expecting that, like, the model would maybe look like the schema?
Yeah. And then when I make my migrations, the system will auto generate the schema for me.
So I'll share my screen with you, and I gotta get going. I'm
tired.
Getting crazy here. Oh, so look, this is nice now. No, so if I'm not going to show you that because that will have some of the answers. I'm not going to show you that because that's not relevant. But if I mean, it's always good to look at. So one of the cool things, Mike, is that since you're like an actual active contributor to open source projects already, you have like examples of things that you can see how things would look if it's a little bit more complicated than it is now, right? So I have models, for example, and then I don't know. Let's go to the event model, for example. So this is what, instead of being an empty model like you have there, this is what it might look like if you had some actual, you know. So this is like 280 lines. So this is quite complicated, you know, and maybe difficult for all of us to understand what's happening in here, you know. But this is the type of thing that you might have in the model. So like this will set up like associations, like this, the event belongs to a specific project, you know. And then it does certain validations, which you don't really learn about in the first course, but you do learn about it in the second course, and starting from chapter 5 in the book, about like, hey, we don't actually want people to be able to create an event without a name, you know, or without a time zone, or without a repeats, or without category, or without, you know. So, and then, you know, then on and on and on, you know. So then you have some methods that belong to, you know, so you have some, in this case, you know, you have a event.where, you know, so this could be a dot order, like Dan was saying, like you could have that logic here if you wanted to. But this is the type of stuff, like, so the model is going to make interactions on behalf of the controller and the view to the actual database. But like the type of things that you're talking about, like it sounds like are not the model's job. The model's job is to communicate with the database on behalf of other things. And whereas like what you're talking about, that kind of information, that kind of logic is you know, it's in the schema. Does that make sense? Like if you want a visible, like if you want to see like, oh, I can't easily look at what my database looks like because I don't have like a command for that, you know. But if I want to look like kind of what it looks like, I can come here and say, okay, I have a table called articles in my database, and that has like certain properties like user ID, title, content, slug, when it was created, when it was updated, you know, those kind of things. And you can go through and look at what that all looks like from your schema. But if you want to see like, you know, how does everything communicate with my database, then you come here to the model.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then like here, you know, for example, this is a class method. So it starts with self, and like it's looking for future events. So then somewhere else in the code, I can say like, you know, movie, I can say like movie dot future. Actually, that wouldn't work. I think you have to have like movie dot new, you know, and pass in the stuff. You know, this would be like movie equals movie.new. And now I haven't, you know, this wouldn't work because it wouldn't pass the validations. I'd have to pass in the name, but whatever, you know. And then I would have movie.future movies, whatever. And then that would come here, and that would call this movie.where, and then it would have the business, you know, the logic to be able to search the database for what I'm looking for.
So Daniel,
I am. Sorry. So, is this something like, so what I'm trying to do is pass a hash to the movie's path.
So if you do that, when you click the link to movie title, so and then you go to the movie path, you'll get one movie displayed. So I don't think on that page you will want to do any sorting.
Yeah.
This just.
Yeah. So so they said you should not do the logic, all the logic inside a view. So for instance,
Right.
here at movie.each.
So my idea was to pass just a parameter so that I could actually add the logic in the movie's controller in this
Cool.
index.
No, I don't think it would work like that, even though,
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
So
I think
what-
you guys should definitely you guys should definitely explore it, but I think that like, so Daniel, if you go to the index the html.haml, the views
Yeah.
template,
Mhm.
and you see there, like, so I think Joseph, what Daniel is thinking is like on line 17 you have like movie path, and then you pass in like the movie, and that
Yeah.
movie gets passed to the controller. Now, if you go back to the controller, Daniel,
Back to the controller.
and then that will look like what you have on line 8, which is like params with an ID in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I strongly suggest you before you get too far choosing one way or the other to do it, is that you drop in a binding.pry or if you find it easier, bybug, and then check out what this params looks like, so when it stops at bybug, or when it stops at the pry session, ask it the params, and then you can see what's being sent from the view to the controller, and then you can make a decision based on that, and then you'll either confirm that the way Daniel is doing it is faulty logic, or it's the way things work. You can confirm or deny the logic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I mean, do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, like, it's nice to be able to see, what happens when you go from the view to the controller. Do you know how to do that or no?
Let's see. So go from the view to the controller. So you're saying
like,
maybe insert a bybug?
Yeah, you wouldn't do it there in the view. You do it in the controller. So
Okay.
do you have bybug, not pry, I assume?
I could probably, well, I don't know.
It's probably bybug if it's the one that they have installed in the gem file.
I
can
have pry installed locally
Okay.
on my thing, so I can use pry.
Okay.
So
put that on like replace line 14, like not replace it, but just hit enter where you are right now, and put in there, require pry binding.pry. That'll need to be in parentheses the pry, and it might not. Yeah.
Sorry.
The require pry, the pry will need to be in parentheses, not parentheses, quotes. Sorry.
Oh, okay, right.
And then, so now, do you know how to get it to stop there?
So now I want to do something that calls this controller action.
Exactly.
So go to the navigate to it in the web page, the local one, which is this one. Let's save this. Let's so.
I mean, leave that for now. I mean, yeah.
So now that y'all mentioned it, now this does not look like this. So
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But
actually,
I think it's a good. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I think that's good to leave that there and see what happens. I mean, maybe it just blows up in your face and gets weird errors, or maybe it doesn't.
Okay. So
yeah, I guess there's a couple different ways of stopping it. One is to do that. Yeah. So now that will stop, but that won't tell you. Yeah, so if you go back to it stopped, which is why it's hung there. If you go back to the terminal in your C9.
Oh,
yeah.
Whoops,
So now you can ask it questions, like you can ask the params, but in this case, you haven't actually clicked on that link, which is what you really want. Now you need to, sorry, go back to the terminal. You need to, it won't ever, it'll stop there indefinitely if you don't tell it. That's it. Yeah. And then it'll do that probably as many times as you told it to. Okay, so now it's rendered everything. So now go back to the browser and actually click on that link so that it goes back to the, okay, that's good. You have, it looks like you might have a syntax error somewhere. Where's your index.html.yaml? Oh yeah, I see what's wrong. So do you see the difference between line 17 and line 7?
Well,
I think
it
is.
The hash?
No. Yeah, there we go. Now that blue looks the same as the blue that on line 17.
Right. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So now refresh the page and see, well, yeah, I mean, if you refresh the page, you're going to get stopped in the pry session again, but then you can exit out of the pry session, or you can, you can take advantage of the fact that it's stopped in pry to do, like I said, and ask the params and see what, and you can check the difference between the two outputs, like before and after you click on the link. So yeah, say ask it its params maybe. Okay, so you can see those are the params right now. You have controller, which is
controller and action.
Movies, and the action is index. Okay, now exit out of that. Yeah. Now go back to the thing, and hopefully it will look like a link now that you can click on, and it does. Nice. So now click on that. Yep, exactly. Now it will stop again because you've triggered the thing. Now ask its params again. Do you see the difference?
Uh-huh. Okay, so we have a new param sort by.
And that's what you wanted, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Joseph, do you see that?
Yeah. So I didn't know you. I thought what the task was supposed to just sort all the movies by the, what is that again? Movie title or anything at the beginning. So when you go to the root, like
No.
yeah.
No. Sorry, it's it's a user interaction sorting. That's why they the first thing they had, you kind of joined late, but the first thing they had them do was to create like links so that the user can click on the link, and then when they click on the link, it's gonna do something, So yeah, like and this is. Yeah, it's good, to actually have a sanity check. Is like, is this doing actually what I thought it was going to do? Because like, you looked at that and you were like, started second guessing yourself then, because you're like, well, it does look different than the other one. But the point is that you are creating a new key value pair when you passed it in that way. So that's perfectly fine, Now, like
what's this one doing?
So that will just pass in the params with an ID. I mean, feel free to go. You can see what it does on line 8 of the movies controller. like, and how to access it, because
Okay.
that will help you to understand how to access the thing that you're going to do on line 7 and 9. So, you know, it's good for you to see, like, okay, I access and it tells you in the README as well, like the params with the square brackets, and then whatever inside of that, you know. Yeah. So then,
So this is now available in the params hash.
yeah, exactly.
No. Okay.
So I mean, it tells you that
First,
you may find it helpful to know that if you passed blah blah blah, then you have it available. And so in the movies controller, you can see like what they did was they said params, and then they said the params ID. In this case, you know, you're gonna have a different param. But guys, I gotta go. But cool, awesome, rock on.
Yeah,
All right.
it's been 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for your help. And
yeah, no worries. Hopefully it was
Joseph
some.
and Mike, thank you all too for your help.
I mean,
Yeah.
feel free to hang out. I'm gonna leave, but yeah, I don't know if you're gonna keep working. It's, you know, I know it's getting late there in Kenya, so.
Yep. So maybe I'll maybe do a rewatch of the last bit of today, because I don't think I scored so much on my listening abilities. So yeah, so whatever Dan was trying to solve there, I think I'll go and rewatch it.
The thing I would recommend, Mike, as well, is that, like, before you get too far in trying to figure out how to do it, you know, have a read of those hints that they give you and see if, you know, and then have a rewatch or rewatch and then read, however you want to do it. But I don't know where, maybe Dan got that idea because he did read those hints, or maybe he just is more familiar with working with params or
No, it was all the hints.
yeah, so that's the thing, you know. And I think that's like one thing that Joseph probably or definitely didn't do is read the hints on the README. So maybe that's why he was questioning it. But anyways,
yeah.
Cool.
So I think, Daniel, maybe you can finish up and we can see it sorting, and then maybe we can call it a day.
Okay.
Yeah, Matthew, you can just
sure.
Okay, cool. See you guys soon.
See you, Matt. All right. So I had. So that's what we did. We put sort by movie title, and I want to make one more. Might as well just change this to sort by. Release date. And then save that. And I don't think I need this. So in the movies controller index action, I want this movie.all, but before we pass it, we do the .all method. I think we chain in the this dot order. So
yeah,
client dot order, and it looks like what it does, it basically imposes an order on the client active record. So
yeah.
I think that goes
So
directly
that one.
after movie, right?
Yeah.
Or movies.
So the client might be a user model, and you're sorting them by first name.
Yeah. So dot order.
Yeah.
I wonder if, see, because I did, sorry, in index, I put it in as in the hash as a symbol, and looks like it came out as a string. So movie title
Yeah.
is a string, but in this, it's also, it's a symbol. So what do you think? Should be symbol?
I think maybe they are putting it as a string because it's a terminal to show you.
Okay.
I don't think it
Yep.
will. Because
Okay.
it's,
Yeah, that's probably true. Okay, so here I'm going to do
Do you maybe need to check if the params have yeah, I'm not sure.
params.
Like
Yeah,
whatever the
params.
params come with. So you check if it's not nil.
Oh, do we need to check if params is not null?
I don't know, cause you know, for the index page, there are cases where the params you won't need to
Right.
to
Okay.
order. Yeah.
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 Like the first time you go
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
website, so it will be just the default
Yep.
to
Okay.
return
So
all the movies. So I think you
well,
might want a new statement.
oh yeah, for sure.
Can delete that because you know what's there.
Okay. Okay. Actually, yeah, I can do params sort by. Did I call it sort by?
Up.
Yeah, well, we.
Equals.
I actually don't need to do equals. So if it gives you back the query symbol, it will evaluate to true or false if it's not there. So you don't have equals, because if you say like you do check equals, then
Nil. Yeah, it will return nil.
you know we are
and
maybe
it'll be
something.
false.
Yeah.
It'll evaluate to false, and it won't run this. But we need we still need movie.all.
No, we don't need that all.
And we don't need the all.
Okay, we need that all if that is if
false.
If that is false.
Yes, if it's false. Okay, but so for this one,
Just
so
do
we
sort.
if it is true, then we will params sort.
Yeah, cause right there, if you had done if params subsort equals to, let's say, rating or then maybe someone clicked on description, sort by description or release date, then you'll have to check for all of those.
Yep.
Yeah, so checking if there is something in the params related to that's good.
And I don't think you need the dot all after at the end of line 15. I think that's what's causing the error.
Mismatch indentation, because I haven't put an end. It's just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we might need this because otherwise.
I think you don't.
Yeah, if you go to the
Well, so if you look
documentation,
at this, so what it originally was movie.all.
yeah, because you are not sorted, you are using another method called order.
Oh, okay.
Now you're
Okay.
yeah. So order
I
will know
see.
to give you all of them back.
Okay. Movie.order.
Yep. So that's great.
So this is good.
Yep. We need
Why does it always do that? Okay. And then if not, and
I think you'll need an else.
oh
Yeah.
right. Else.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, try it out.
Fresh and see.
Did I?
It's saved.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you think I should click this link now? See if it works?
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Great.
Oh man. Okay.
No such column.
Oh, we have to sort by the correct thing in movies. So it's going to be title. So I actually want to just change title.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what's the other one? The correct one is rating. No. Release date. Let's look at the schema.
Yeah.
Is that where I should look?
Yeah.
Got rating, release
Yeah.
underscore date. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more time.
It did okay. It did the same thing.
The you had put. Can you go back? Can you remove the query first and then go to remove the index?
Yeah, that's so.
Then-
Just do this.
Yeah. I'm out. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Wow.
Try the release date.
All right. Works.
Yeah, it's sorting by the oldest to
So maybe
latest.
I need to learn more about the params.
Yeah.
it's
Params.
it's
Yeah. So
yeah, it's funny how it just
it's just this hint right here. So it's the current Rotten Potatoes views use the Rails provided resource-based routes helper with movies path. You may find it helpful to know that if you pass this helper method a hash of additional parameters, those parameters will be parsed by Rails and available in the params hash. So I just be there. Anything that you add.
So, do they want us to maybe sort in ascending or descending order? They don't specify. They didn't specify anywhere.
I think the default is ascending.
Let's see, actually. Release date should redisplay the list of movies with the earliest release first.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
ascending.
yeah.
So we need to add another parameter in your
For
query.
movies whose name begin with non-letters, the sort order should be string. Should match the behavior. That's just a spec. Like, we don't need to worry about this because it's all implemented in the active records .order method, right?
Yeah, but you see, yeah.
So movies that begin with non-letters, the sort order should match the behavior string. But like we see in the Rotten Potatoes, we have 2001 is first, which
Yeah.
is I think that's pretty much what it's saying. Like,
Or maybe we should just do add to string to
do what?
to the parameter that we pass if it's a title. I don't know, but it works just fine. Yeah, I think the order function takes care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, I guess I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later. We might have to add something, but
Yeah.
it probably. Okay, so do y'all want to stop there, or do y'all want to? Or
yeah, I think that's. I think that I gotta go now. I think.
Okay.
I can proceed from there tomorrow. Maybe it's a little late here.
Yeah. What time is it there?
It's almost 12 a.m.
12 a.m. Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's almost the second. So, where are you? Where are you again, Mike?
Yeah.
Where are you? Yeah. Where are you? Kenya?
Yes.
And Joseph, are you also in Kenya?
Yeah, me too. Nairobi.
All right. I am in Dallas, Texas. It is 3:15 p.m. here.
3:15. So it's still.
Yeah, we got like 8 hours on you.
Yep.
Yeah, you still.
And the baby's still up.
Yeah, they don't sleep.
So you don't sleep.
Yeah.
Or you can sleep through it now.
Actually, that's why I'm even considering dropping off.
Yeah.
So they can have their peace.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see you all tomorrow then.
Yeah, maybe that's it. We can proceed from there tomorrow. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.